Zoe here. I hope you're having an amazing day so far. Today I'm going to be talking to you all about my recommendations before going on a journey of ayahuasca, and more specifically how to set you up for success and your best experience at Rythmia. So let's get started. Alright, so if you guys have tuned into my channel and tuned into my ayahuasca series, you know that recently I spent my first week ever at Rythmia, definitely not the last, and this was my first time doing ayahuasca. And through that journey, I explained to you guys how I felt a calling, and I explained to you each individual ceremony and how it was for me. And then at the end, I shared a couple of interviews with Jerry and Candice, who are both members of the Rythmia community. Jerry, more specifically, who created Rythmia from a beautiful vision through plant medicine. So I know that myself, when I felt the calling to ayahuasca and to Rythmia, and prior to doing it, I was nervous. I was excited, but I was also very nervous. I had no idea what to expect. I'd never done drugs before or plant medicine. Sorry, there's construction outside. They're building a condo next door, so my apologies for any unexpected noises, but bear with me, guys. So I found myself very nervous, but I found content available online that was very helpful for me. So for example, I watched the Reality of Truth documentary, which is on YouTube and it's for free, and I watched that a couple of times prior to the journey, like within a couple months leading up to my experience at Rythmia. And I also watched other YouTubers who were speaking about their experiences at Rythmia, more specifically like High Carb Hannah. She recalled her experiences and just how ayahuasca was for her. And of course I tapped into some podcasts speaking about ayahuasca, and I know that it's kind of this trend, and from what I'd heard when I spoke to people about it, they're like, oh yeah, that thing that all those Silicon Valley millennial kids are going down to the jungle to do. Like, I heard so many of these crazy just, I don't want to say judgments because it's not the right word, but just how people had categorized this experience of ayahuasca. So I went through the different route, and I sat out all these different podcasts and little documentaries. I read Jerry's book, Shit the Moon Said, twice, which was extremely inspirational and really set me up for success at Rythmia and through ayahuasca. But I listened to other people's journeys, and I truly feel like that helped me so much before taking the journey on my own, because no ceremony, no night of ayahuasca is the same, as you might know yourself or you might have learned through my series. But to make the most of it, you need to have an open mind and you need to trust. So after ingesting the medicine, it should be ingested with a clear intention spoken from your heart. And I cannot stress this enough, because what you ask, if you really mean what you ask, you'll get your answers. And it's incredible. If you've gone on this far, if you've sought out the journey, if you've booked yourself into Rythmia, if you have really taken this chance to do something for yourself, do it all in, okay? Do it all in. Speak it from your heart. Try to relax yourself as much as you can. Do meditation before the ceremony. Going into the ceremony, the medicine is going to kick in, and you'll feel like a loving energy about it. You might start to have, sorry for the noise, you might start to have visions. You might start to feel a little bit scared about what you might see, but be patient and stay calm. The biggest tip that I got prior to going to Rythmia and experiencing ayahuasca was to follow your breath, was to always go back to your breath. Whenever you're feeling a little bit of stress, anxiety, you're scared, anything like that, you're feeling a little bit nauseous, anything like that, just breathe through it. And that being said, a lot of you had the question of, I'm scared about being nauseous the whole time. As you guys know from my stories, I puked twice from ayahuasca out of 4 nights. And so you never know what you're gonna get. You could lie in a night full of bliss, or you could puke in a night. But when you're feeling nauseous, just breathe through it. It's not unbearable. I've told you guys, my worst fear is puking. Okay, one of my worst fears is puking, but it wasn't a bad experience. It was a relieving experience, and once you get sick, you feel better. And so that's just one thing. If you are in if you're remembering back on this video while you're going through ayahuasca, just remember to breathe. Just remember, if you have to purge, purge, and you're gonna feel better. You're gonna see what you need to see, you're gonna heal what you need to heal, and you're gonna be done. So just know like what's coming is going, okay? If you feel a little bit nauseous, like just, you know, puke. But yeah, I don't mean to scare you guys, and those of you who may not even be interested in ayahuasca, probably this video is not serving you in any way, but that's okay. It's not meant for that. It's meant to help these people before they go into the experience. So yeah, it's just a video of what I would have liked to know before going to Rythmia and doing ayahuasca. And another recommendation I have is vegan diet prior to going to Rythmia and while you're at Rythmia. Rythmia serves chicken and fish as well, I noticed, but they do have a lot of amazing vegan food. And of course me, I plant-based diet for many years now, so that wasn't a problem for me, but I chose to cut out coffee and alcohol for 1 month prior to this experience. And that was very transformative for me on its own, but also allowed for a much greater transformative experience, I believe, for myself at Rythmia, because I was so pure going into it, I would say. Like, my body was just full of plants, and I hadn't touched coffee or alcohol. Like, there was no stimulants, or like, for example, alcohol is a depressant. There's nothing like that in my system. So it really allowed for a very clear state of mind. And what I learned about actually giving up these substances for a month prior was that I had a lot more energy than I imagined within myself without these substances. And I think that deserves a video on its own, which I'm gonna make probably about, like, you know, the results and what I learned from giving up caffeine and alcohol for a month, because it was transformative for me in that sense too. But what I'm saying is, I felt like I was able to access parts of my mind, I was able to quiet my mind, I was able to do so many things on my own prior to taking ayahuasca, just because I had cleared my body out. So yeah, I hope that helps. There were a few questions as well on the ceremony experience and how coming down from ayahuasca feels. Like, does it just end and that's it? Or are you, like, for example, a little bit high or drunk going back to your hotel room? So when you are on ayahuasca and you have visions and you have experiences, you remember everything. It's not like, for example, when you are on alcohol and you might have loose memory of what happened, or you might completely black out, like, God forbid. But like, it's not like that. You remember everything that you saw is clear to you, and it's in your mind. When the ceremony is over, so the shaman is conducting the ceremony. And what I found, for example, for my first ceremony, was when the ceremony ended, it ended. Like, I just woke, like, everyone just woke up. You're already, it's hard to say woke up because you're already awake, you already are aware of things that are going on around you, but it's like ayahuasca leaves your system. Because the whole ceremony in its own has this plant aspect to it, but it's a lot of energy work. And to some of you, I know that might not make any sense, but it will after you do ayahuasca. So when the ceremony ended, for example, like on my first ceremony, that was it, it was over. I was awake, I was a little bit weak, but I walked back to my hotel room fine, got in fine. Took a cold shower, that's a recommendation, because you're vibrating so high. When you take a cold shower, you just kind of like lock everything in. And so I recommend that. That's kind of like a have to do. I definitely say you have to do that before you go to bed, because you're gonna feel a little bit like, woo, I'm like buzzing. But you don't feel drunk, no. I did not have this experience of feeling drunk after the ceremony was over. The shaman know how to end it. They know how to end it with the music, they know how to end it with the energy. That it's just such a gentle experience coming off of the high, or the coming off of the plants, I guess. It truly was just a gentle experience, a very learning, a very healing. Like, I kept referring back to this divine feminine energy during my story time videos about the experiences. You feel love around you, you feel a trust around you, to know you're in good hands. And I mean, especially at Rythmia, like, everyone there in the facility, like, while you're in ceremony, there are people there helping you. There's medically trained professionals. This is a medically licensed resort that you're doing this on. So in no way do you ever feel unsafe or like something really bad is gonna happen to you, because you have this divine energy within you from the plants, and also these incredible people surrounding you, like incredible. Just the nicest people who just, like, everyone remembered my name. Everyone asked me how I was every day. And I went there alone, and I feel like I left with a whole family. That's how it feels, okay? Going to Rythmia felt like coming home. So yeah, I really have nothing but amazing things to say about it. I know that it's not for everyone. I definitely know that, but I know that I will be going back. You asked if I would do it again. And I actually plan to go back this next year because I had such an incredible time. I hope that if you feel a calling, you consider it, because as you guys know, it healed a lot of me, and I am infinitely grateful. So those are my advice for anyone who is going to Rythmia or going to do ayahuasca for the first time. Just breathe is the biggest thing, and just try to clear yourself out as best as you can before going into the experience. I can't wait to go again and tell you guys more experiences. Bring back all the knowledge that I learned through my experiences for you. Okay,